Größte Thunderknicks.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Thunderknicks, episode 2. I'm your host Oliver, as always, joined by Sharpie.
Hello.
Hello, and we will start with your Knicks after they played today. So obviously they had 4 games, and I think you said last week you'd be happy if they went 3-1. The game today just finished. They're 2-2 over the last week. Obviously, losing that game to Orlando didn't help. What are your big takeaways from the summary of those games? I've got a few notes, but I want to hear what you have.
The starting lineup needs to be changed around or something. Something needs to happen with this starting lineup, I think. Also, if we're going to keep the same starting lineup, they need to get it together because this is just embarrassing, especially losing to Orlando, nearly losing to Houston yesterday. Like, there should be no room for that at all. I don't care who you are. Magic are 4-11 now, and Rockets had only won one game coming into this, so
Yeah,
it's pathetic. No one's hitting their shots. No one's playing good defense. Like, this is in the starting lineup especially, and I also think that Obi Toppin's not getting enough minutes either.
yeah. If you had to take a positive out of it, though, and I know that it's pretty hard to, but would you consider a positive, like your bench unit's got it all figured out by the looks of it? It's just you need to get your starters to not even play good. They just need to play not bad. They just need to play mediocre. Like, would you consider that as a positive, or are you just a bit?
There's no positives yet at the moment. I've seen nothing spectacular. Anything I saw today, especially against Chicago, was RJ Barrett getting 15 rebounds. That's it. But he still shot 2 for 12.
Well, that's what I want to bring up. That's what I had. The first note I actually had. So I've done some adding and subtracting here. So I've got the points along the side. If I do them up in my head quickly, he's had 49 points over the last 4 games for the week. He shot 17 for 56 in those 4 games, 30%. So and in one of them he shot 2 for 11. That doesn't help. And then there was 2 games where he shot 4 for 13. He has grabbed a game with 9 rebounds and a game with 14 rebounds. So he's doing some other stuff, but is he in a bit of a slump? Is he maybe one that's affected by the crowd, you reckon? Or is he just going through a slump?
He's just going through a slump. Like, he was fine against Indiana.
Yeah.
He hit that like sealer sort of to help us win, which was good. Maybe he's just trying to force too much. I don't know.
Yeah, because he did say at the start of the season he was making a big leap this year, and he did. I think he had a 3 or 4 game stretch where he looked unreal. And
yeah, he had a 5-game stretch where he had plus like 20 points or more. So.
Yeah, so I think he just needs a bit more time. But I think if it's hard for him to figure it out when Randall's playing like Randall, although he looked like he played well. I only caught the last quarter and a half of today's game.
Yeah, he had 34 points. Him and Kemba looked pretty well together, which was good. If there's more of that to come, especially against the Lakers.
We'll get to that in a minute. So Barrett was benched all of the last quarter against the Rockets, which surprised me. And it was funny because my brother had a multi for him to score 15. And Fournier and Kemba were benched nearly all of the last quarter today, I'm pretty sure, against the Bulls. Do you like that Tibbs is trying to run it out with the hotter hand, or would you
I think it's because
put the starters back in?
I think it's because like players like Quickly and Rose and all that, they can easily get points by making their own shots and everything. And Kemba and Fournier can't really. Like, even though Fournier closed us out against the Celtics in the first game, but I don't like he's going to play Quickly regardless because Quickly can shoot threes. Like, even though he didn't shoot any today, I don't think. But
Quickly,
yeah, I don't think
he hit a clutch one in the last quarter. He hit one with about 4 minutes left.
Yeah, and he shot 1 for 8 though.
And then he hit another one, but it was after the shot clock because Randall just held on to it until the last second and then passed it off. But
That's standard.
but I think I gave a bit of crap to IQ early on because he wasn't he was just taking ill-advised shots and everything. But he looks like he's getting I wouldn't say back to what he was last year, but he's been impressive again, I reckon, over this. He's probably been one of the more impressive players over this stretch. Would you agree? Or
I'd probably still go with Obi.
Yeah, true. He was dominant in the last quarter, even though he's lost today. Because I mean, they were playing? I didn't get them. I was watching the game and like the Bulls were playing Lonzo ball on Randall, and to be fair to him, Randall wasn't getting his way in the post or anything, which surprised me. But yeah, I think Obi played really well in the last quarter at least, and he hit a 3, which surprised me. But the thing is, like, you got a starting lineup that's got a plus minus that is frigging terrible, and then you got a bench unit that's got a plus minus that's really good. Do you insert someone from the bench into the starting lineup? Say maybe even put an Alec Burks in, as much as you don't like him, but like maybe him and then Fournier with the bench unit, or who would you maybe swap out?
Yeah, I'd probably something like that. Yeah, someone that could just be a role player, sort of, not really having to have the ball all the time. I still wouldn't start D Rose. I feel like he's better coming off the bench and everything. Well, today RJ and Randall had a plus today in the plus minus.
Jesus.
Both had +6, which was surprising.
That's the first time in a long time.
And then the bench actually had minuses.
Jesus.
All of them.
Oh, that's actually very surprising. Jeez.
Yeah, well, this has been Randall's best game this season. It's good. I'm hoping he gets into a hot streak or something.
Well, I heard at the end there, is it Clyde? I always get it, Clyde or Walt Frazier, one of them. Walt Frazier, the commentator for the Knicks?
It's both.
Okay, well, whichever one was saying that Randall looked hurt at the end of the game with his knee, whether he banged knees with someone. He stayed on the court apparently, but you can't really have him injured. Do you know anything? Did you see that or?
I haven't seen much. I didn't really watch much of the game. I got a headache. So.
Yeah, can't blame it. Can't blame you because, I mean, Brad's probably going to give you a bit of crap as well. So going to look forward to that. But more on the Knicks Rockets game. That game was just disgusting to watch. That was
horrible.
Like the Rockets actually, for once, I've seen probably 3 games or 4 games this year of the Rockets. And that's the first time they actually looked like they believed they could win, obviously, other than when they first beat us. But I just don't know what was going on with the Knicks. They just they can't defend the 3.
They just couldn't hit their shots as well.
But like even today, there was, I think, the first, about 6 minutes in, they said that the Bulls have scored on 8 of 9 of their possessions. And I think 4 of them were 3s. I don't know what's happened with your defense, and I don't know how your defense can go from 2nd or 3rd best to what nearly bottom 5 in the league, I think, just by adding Fournier and Kemba, who Kemba obviously not a great defender, but I mean, maybe.
Yeah, well, no Bullock this year as well,
Yeah.
so no one. I think even Quentin Grimes is a good defender, but we don't play him.
The weekly reminder of Sharpie telling Tibbs to play the young blokes.
Yeah. Like Grimes got on the court today for the inbound with the last 26 seconds, which was exciting, I guess. But Jericho Sims played 5 minutes as well because we had no Mitchell Robinson or Taj Gibson.
Oh no, Taj, that's why you lost.
Yeah, and we got Nerlens uncoordinated Noel at center. Fair play to him though. He got 3 blocks. But
did you buy your new Chicago Bulls jersey?
Yeah, the refs jersey looks nice. I mean, the Chicago Bulls jersey looks nice. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a few interesting calls and touchy calls towards the end there. But so we'll go to the next game because it is the Lakers. Now, we'll probably go in more depth on it Friday. LeBron's not going to get suspended. Not a prime time game against.
No,
the
there's no way
Knicks.
in hell. He'll get suspended the game after, but he won't get suspended.
Any other
I
player.
don't care if you apologized or anything. I
Yeah.
didn't mean it. Like, that's still stupid.
It looked pretty deliberate, and
the LeBron fanboys can calm down. You know,
he was backing away when bloody Stewart started running down the court at him.
Yeah,
He was hiding.
Yeah. Anyway,
but he's not going to miss next game. Do you think because you've got a hard stretch? So before we do this next week, we'll talk about that later. You've got the Lakers, Suns, and Hawks. So you got a very tough stretch of games.
God damn it.
Do you expect to beat the Lakers? I mean,
hopefully.
Let's go with LeBron playing. I mean, they should have lost to the Pistons today.
Yeah, well, I think we can beat the Lakers. Probably not the Suns. They're on a 12-game winning streak at the moment. Maybe Atlanta. I think we could beat Atlanta.
So if you had to drop one of those 3 games, would you? Because obviously you hate the Lakers and you very much dislike the Hawks. If you had to drop one of those games, obviously you don't prefer to drop one of them, but hypothetically, if you lose one, which one would you rather lose?
Probably the Lakers, because we can. We don't want to lose against Atlanta, them being a Eastern Conference team. So,
I'm gonna note that down. That you have 2-1 for the Knicks. What's wrong with Taj and what's wrong with Robinson? Did he do his ankle?
It's just he had concussion protocols or something for today, and then Taj is, I think, done something to his knee or something. He's always, our centers are always injured, you know.
You want.
Especially with Mitchell Robinson, he's got no durability, and he plays like 5 minutes and he's gassed.
You won't have Noel either because he's going to find a way to get injured too.
Yep, and we won't even play Sims either. We'll play fucking Taj Gibson still.
45 minutes.
Yeah,
and Randall.
Gross.
I
don't mind Randall at center. Like,
well,
I mean,
if you're not going to play Toppin.
Yeah, like it gives us an excuse to play Toppin if we're going to have Randall and Toppin at the same time.
Yeah, well, that worked. I mean, you've lost, but it worked for bits of the last quarter today, having them 2 on the same time. It was just such a weird lineup. It was Rose quickly for Barrett, Randall, and Toppin closing out the game against the Bulls. And it's not a bad lineup, but considering I think the Bulls' tallest player was Derek Jones Jr., it was definitely an interesting lineup.
They had no Vucevic, so it makes sense. Like,
yeah.
And Tony Bradley was cooking us like early on in the first quarter as well.
Oh, what a king. OKC legend. That's why the Bulls won. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on for the Knicks?
Well, it was good to see, obviously, Randall today coming out with the 34 points. And obviously, Alec Burks in the game against Houston yesterday, clutching up in the 4th. That was nice.
He's back.
But yeah, well, hopefully. He had 13 points today. He shot pretty well, even though he did have 6 free throws. But yeah, so I see from what I saw today against the Bulls with our starting lineup is maybe it might be coming together.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it does, especially coming up against the Lakers as well. Because I don't want to go on Twitter if we lose to the Lakers.
And I think everyone wants to see the Lakers go below 500 again.
Yeah, that'd make my day.
Before we move on, the thoughts on I know it's late, it's Thunderknicks, but we talked about Lakers just then. Thoughts on the new crypto.com name instead of Staples?
Yeah, I mean, well, fair enough. They bought it out. It sounds a bit weird, but it'll take some time to get used to.
I think it's just the .com. If it was Crypto Arena, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But crypto.com, why couldn't they buy it with cryptocurrency, not real money?
True.
I mean, it just seems logical. But, I mean, to be fair to them, does Staples even exist in there? Like, I remember it being mentioned in The Office about in what
Oh yeah, it's
2007.
Staples is still like a store. So
Geez, I wonder who shops there. Anyway, we'll
I'm
move
assuming
on.
it's like our Office Works or something.
Yeah, well, yeah, true. I guess we do still use Office Works. Anyway, we'll move on to the best team in the league, the Oklahoma City Thunder, obviously. We beat the Rockets, but then again, who's not beating the Rockets? Giddey was the first OKC rookie, something like that, to have back-to-back double-digit points, double-digit rebound games, and he hasn't even been getting his assists. He's got 14 and 11 against the Rockets, and then 14 and 12 against the Bucks, and then 15 and 8 against the Celtics. I mean, we went 1-2 over that 3-game streak. Obviously, only beating the Rockets, and I don't. Did you watch any of the bits of the Thunder game?
No, not at all.
Well, we versed against the Bucks. I think we held Giannis 5-19 or 7-19, even though we finished with 21 points and 19 rebounds. We only lost by like 7, but it was like a 3-point game with a minute left or so. So and then the Celtics, we come back late, but fucking Jason Tatum torched us, and Dennis Schroeder decides to make it look like he's worth the money against us. But I don't know, like when I find this team different to like a terrible team like the Knicks used to have. Like when you watch the Knicks, you'd be watching Alexei Shved and players like I can't remember many. Solomon Hill. I don't know if you know any more off the top of your head from that terrible team other than Bargnani, the king. But I feel like this team's a lot different. Obviously, we've got SGA, who's probably already a star, but like we're not. Even if we're getting blown out, or not blown out, if we're losing by double digits, the team's actually still coming back and making it a competitive game. And I don't know. I thought I would hate watching it, but fuck, I'd much rather watch that than a team like the Rockets or even the Pistons, who have been more competitive lately. I just don't like looking at them when they play. I mean, and OKC played on their new court the other day. Did you see that?
It looks nice. Yeah, it looks nice.
What about the jerseys? Did you see Giddey?
Well, I could see the top of his head. I couldn't see the rest of him, but yeah.
I was gonna get one of those jerseys, but it's $270. So definitely reconsidering that. But Dort, 5 consecutive 20-point games, first time in his career. Obviously, he had 34 and 8 against the Rockets. He's just a fucking king. And Giddey hit 3 straight threes. So you might look at the box score and he's shooting, say, 4 for 12. And he's a bit like Quickly in a way. He loves his floaters. His floaters are starting to roll out and everything, and it's just not going down. And you can see him getting frustrated, but hitting 3 straight threes, and he doesn't look like he might not have a clean shot, but he doesn't hesitate when he's shooting. I don't really know. I could compare it to Pokusevski, actually. He hesitates when he shoots 3, and it just fucks his whole, just airballs it. Whereas someone like Giddey, he actually takes the shot, takes his time, and doesn't really think about it. And I mean, he's 4th in Rookie of the Year currently, and I don't know have you heard anything about Mobley?
No, I haven't seen the latest polls I haven't seen the latest standings for the Rookie of the Year yet.
Because Barnes has won, I know that much. Because Mobley's injured and he's gone to 2, and I just don't know how long Mobley's out for. And I think Wagner was, or however you say it, was 3rd, and then Giddey 4th. I could be wrong, and then Cade was 5th. But I just find it funny that Jalen Green's not in there. Fuck Jalen Green. I don't know why. I'm starting to not like him. I don't know. Something about him. But we'll get into it maybe later this week. But I don't know. Like Trey Mann against the Rockets, he was going really well, and then he hurt his ankle. he's going to be a good future 6-man player. And Wiggins, our favourite Wiggins, played a fair bit lately. But we've got no Dagnott, so we've got a different coach in Dave Bliss. He's got a big square head. One thing I'm pissed. So the Knicks obviously have an issue with their plus minus and starters and everything. One thing that's starting to piss me off a bit, and I understand it. The coach doesn't play a consistent center, so it's Derek Favors some games, and then it's JRE, and it's just like, I think last game Derek Favors started center, and JRE came off the bench, played 10 more minutes than him. I get maybe it's better in game. You realize he's a better center to play against this team, but just start one center. Is that wrong for me to think that maybe it probably doesn't hinder on the confidence, but it would definitely help getting some consistency?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't know. I like watching them. That's all that matters when you're supporting a bad team currently. I won't say shit, but
just said it.
Shush. But like, I tell you what, I think the Knicks should make a trade with OKC, and I wouldn't mind seeing this trade because I want to see him go to a good team. Oh, I can't believe I just called the Knicks a good team. But Kenrich Williams, I don't know if he'll get many minutes for you, but he's basically our Caruso, and I don't know if you want.
He'd get minutes. He won't get touches, but
yeah,
he'd get minutes. Like,
And
we
that's
don't
the
even
thing,
play Kevin Knox, so
yeah, and that's the thing. He doesn't need touches. He can hit a catch and shoot three, and he can sometimes dribble drive. But I think he's
that sounds like Kevin Knox.
But his defense is unreal. He's been defending very well. And in saying that, our favorite player on this podcast, other than Giddey, I'm speaking for both of us. Yes, I don't care. Is JRE, the man. Had 13 and 8 against the Celtics. He's a fucking beast. I love watching him play, even though he doesn't get many stats sometimes.
I mean, he's not my favorite player. But yeah, he's good.
No, he's your favorite player between the two teams. Fuck Obi topping off. It's all about JRE. No, but who's your favorite OKC player then?
Well, I just finished playing in my career with him on 2K.
So you're going to pick the player that got you the most stats?
Yeah, I'll probably go SGA, really. He got me a lot of assists. So.
Roby.
Yeah, no, not Roby.
Somehow starting in your fucking my career.
Yeah. I'd probably just have to go Giddey because he's Australian. So, yeah.
If you could take one player off OKC's team to put into your team, to like put into the Knicks to make them better, who would you take? Other than maybe SGA, because he's probably
just for a bit of
one.
defense, I'd probably go Dort. Just to
imagine that backcourt, the fucking Canadians, just Dort and Barrett clamping. So we only have 3 games between this week and next week anyway. So we've got the Hawks as well, the Jazz and the Wizards. I think it's safe to say that we're probably going to go 0-3. And I don't mind that because we need to get back to the stage where we're fucking losing. We can't keep winning a few games. How are we meant to get?
That's a tough run.
How are we meant to get Paolo Banchero if we're not gonna lose games? Maybe we just trade for Towns and go to the playoffs and win the whole thing. But we're 6-10 and we're just out of the play-in now because Timberwolves won yesterday. But like the Rockets are 1-14. How the hell are we meant to? We're not going to be worse than them. They're going to get a top pick again.
Yeah, well, who knows? They may end up getting the second pick or the.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, we had the worst record, or we ended up with RJ Barrett, not Zion. Which
Pistons look like they're winning a few games now as well. And I mean, Kay got a triple-double today. We'll talk more about that later on this week. But I mean, Orlando's even winning a few games somehow. That baffles me. Pelicans are going to eventually win games now that Brendan Ingram's back. But I honestly think there's obviously your good teams, your bad teams. there's in the bad teams, you got your Pelicans, your Thunder, and all that. And then there's fucking 10 loads of shit, and then it's the Rockets. I don't know how they're so bad though. They got so many good players. Like
They're just a very young team.
but like you still got
They're
Christian
filled, they're
Wood.
filled with good rookies and,
Mm,
no offense, G League players.
yeah. And you're a G League specialist. You love that stuff.
Yeah, well, I do, but it's just like these guys aren't ready to be in
Mm.
that
Before-
situation.
Before we finish up, do you have anything to touch on? Because I've completely forgotten about OKC's G League stats. Or
They
I know
lost to the Lakers today. I'm pretty sure Lakers G League team today.
Maladone had a big game against the Clippers, didn't he?
Yeah, the other day maybe I think.
Yeah, he had 20 something, and
They played a back to back against Lakers and they lost both. But I think in one of the games, yeah, well, obviously Maladone did well. That Paul Watson's looking pretty nice as well. I know he's in
Yeah.
that two-way.
mm,
Trey Mann had 19 points yesterday as well. So
yeah,
I don't
and
think
send
anything
Roby
special.
back there.
Yeah, well, maybe.
What about the Knicks? Have they had any? Do you watch much of their G League still, or
Yeah, I watched a bit of the J League. Well, I think we only played like one game this week anyway. We beat Long Island Nets by
Oh.
6. It was
Cam Thomas dropped 40 on you?
Miles McBride's first game for the Knicks, which was good to see him being sent down. He had 25 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds. Our
Jeez.
G League team is looking pretty nice. That Lucas Samanic as well, just fresh off getting cut from the Spurs, 32 points.
Didn't hustle back on defense. That's why.
Yeah, well, that's what you got to do.
But
Basketball.
if he's
basically.
scoring 32 points, Jesus. It is the G League. But
No, yeah.
are there many other big names for the Knicks in the G League? Because obviously
I think-
Braz Dacus is not there anymore. Sad face.
Yeah, he's playing for Orlando's G League as well. So
He should not be in the G League. Give him a game.
Yeah, well, there's heaps of people that shouldn't be in the G League, really. No, there's not really that many big names that have been in the NBA. Miles Powell probably be our best G League player
Mm.
at the moment. But yeah, he's not getting any game time for them either.
Yeah, our teams are just kings at playing players that not playing players they should play more. We need to see more Pokashevsky.
Yeah.
And you need to see more Obi Toppin. Basically like for like players.
Yep, except Obi has more of a ceiling.
And Poku is more athletic and
No, he's not.
and would clamp Obi Toppin one-on-one.
I'm not looking forward to watching the Knicks lose to the Thunder this year at all.
You're going to be waiting a long while. I don't think we versed to the G, so that did not make sense.
I think we play each other till the New Year's.
Yeah, well, who knows? Maybe the Knicks have turned it around by then. Oh, hopefully
I'd
they
like
have.
to see. I'd like to see as well.
Well, we'll keep it short this week. Thanks for joining us, Sharpie.
No worries.
My dog's whining in the background. I don't know why. I need to tell her to fuck off. But thanks for joining us. Maybe we'll have a catchphrase entry next time. We'll get a bit of consistency about the podcast, I reckon. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. Bye.